welcome to another episode of Melissa's Menu. I'm so excited about tonight's show. It's inspired by the New Hope Ladies Ministry Cookbook. That's right, let me back up just a minute. I belong to New Hope Chapel, an awesome non-denominational church right here in downtown beautiful Plymouth, Mass. About a year and a half ago, I thought, how great would it be to start collecting recipes from the women of New Hope and assemble our very own cookbook. Fast forward to last April, after collecting recipes, typing the recipes, and sending it off to print, it was finally ready. Its name is called New Hope Family Recipes. So I've picked 5 recipes to share with you all today, and I have a very special guest to introduce you to at the end of the show. So stay tuned, and let's start cooking. First off is a simple appetizer, artichoke dip by Debbie Johnson. Talk about a super easy recipe. You can actually make this in your sleep like I did the other day. 5 ingredients, that's all. It's that easy. All ingredients go right into your food processor. And the first ingredient is artichoke hearts. Now let me give you a little bit of tidbit of information about artichoke hearts. We're using 1 can, by the way. You can use the hearts or the bottoms. These are the hearts that I'm using. And artichokes are very healthy for you. They're high in vitamin C, folic acid, and potassium, making them apparently healthy. It's native to the Mediterranean, and it can be grown as a perennial or an annual. The vegetable that we eat is actually the plant's flower bud. If allowed to flower, the blossoms measure up to about 7 inches in diameter and are a beautiful violet blue color. Almost 100% of artichokes grown in the United States are grown in California. Okay, back to the recipe. Let's go ahead and start. 1 can of artichokes going right into the food processor. Make sure you drain these, by the way. Forgot to mention that part. 1 cup of mayonnaise. You can use low fat if you like. I'm using regular. Okay, we've got the mayonnaise. A 1/2 cup of cream cheese. 1 cup of Parmesan cheese, and this is grated, by the way, as you can see. Okay, and last ingredient, 2 garlic cloves chopped. That's all. Smells great already, and we haven't even started cooking yet. Put the top on. Okay, let's take a look. Perfect. This is going right into you can use an 8x8 pan. Really any size pan that you have is fine, just relatively small, of course. I have sprayed it with some Pam, or you can just butter it if you like. This is going into a 350-degree oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, I'm putting this in the oven. I already have my oven preheated on 350. I almost put this thing, you don't want to put this thing in, obviously. This is just for the decoration at the end, to serve it in. Okay, going into the oven. And that's all. Let's go ahead and start with our second recipe. Okay, the next recipe is apple walnut salad, another very simple recipe. In a bowl, you're going to combine 2 packages of baby spinach leaves right here. I already have this rinsed and washed. Next, we're combining 2 Granny Smith apples. So we're just cubing the apples, however large you want. All right, so let's just add these apples into the salad. The Macintosh would be nice because of the red color, if you want to do that. And then our last ingredient for the salad is extra sharp Vermont cheddar cheese. I just cut a package of cheese. You can use as little or as much as you want as well. Let's mix this together a little bit. Look how healthy this is. I know that you're probably all surprised that I love this salad because you know how I like to eat junk food. Now let's go ahead and work on the dressing over here. 3 ingredients for the salad dressing. 1/3 cup extra virgin olive oil. Do you like my new olive oil dispenser? My mom bought this for me recently. Thanks, Mom. A 1/3 cup of good balsamic vinegar. Now I know what you're about to ask me. What is a good balsamic vinegar? Hang on 1 minute and I'll tell you. Oh man, that smells so good. I love the smell of this. It smells awesome. So I did a little research regarding what is considered a good balsamic vinegar, and I found that Lucchini brand to be the best of the best that is sold in the supermarkets without spending a small fortune. This bottle right here was $14. A good vinegar is sweet and thick. You want a nice, smooth balance. This is delicious for vinaigrettes. Also, for the last ingredient, a 1/3 cup of pure maple syrup. Now, whatever you do, please do not use Aunt Jemima's. It's full of sugar, and this is just going to give it such a nice flavor. My assistant is laughing at me over here. I'm not sure why, so I apologize. Just whisk this up and pour it right over the salad. Simple as that. Beautiful. Let's mix this up a little bit. And the final ingredient, the walnuts. Gorgeous. Okay, let's check on the artichoke dip. Not quite done. We're looking for a nice golden brown crust on top. Maybe another 5 minutes or so. By the way, these are my new pot holders from my mom. She loves me. Thanks, Mom, for the pot holders. The next recipe I'm making is submitted by Linda Kearns, and it's a zucchini souffle. We are first going to take 4 zucchini. They're just about medium in size, and we want to chop 4 cups. I'm using my new mandolin, like I did last week, for all of you who were watching. And you want to cut the zucchini about 1/4 inch thick. The great thing about zucchini, it can be prepared a number of ways. Steamed, boiled, grilled, stuffed, fried, or incorporated into other recipes, such as this one, which is going to be a zucchini souffle. So we are going to first parboil 4 cups of the zucchini that I've already sliced. And parboiling is just another fancy word that means to partially cook or blanch. So we're parboiling the zucchini for about 5 minutes, just until it's tender. And next we're going to combine 2 eggs beaten. Oh, and by the way, if you are using a mandolin, don't do what I did. I cut my finger and it really, really hurt, but the show is going to go on. So now what we're doing is just making the topping for the zucchini. Everything's going into one bowl. We have the 2 eggs. We're adding 1 cup mayonnaise. One cup of grated Parmesan cheese. A 1/4 cup of diced onion. A 1/2 cup of diced green pepper. And that's all. So we're just going to mix this up. This is going into an 8 by 8 pan baking dish. Zucchini is going to be on the bottom. Okay, so let's drain the zucchini. Just going to spray it with some butter cooking spray, or butter if you don't have it. So zucchini goes on the bottom here. Beautiful color. Okay, now we're going to add the topping. Pour this right over the top. And just spread this out evenly. And the last 2 ingredients we're going to use, just a little bit of seasoned breadcrumbs to make it nice and golden brown, and we'll just dot it with a little bit of butter as well. Okay, oh, this is going into a preheated oven set at 350 degrees for about 35 to 40 minutes. We're ready to start the Dijon Tarragon chicken. First, we are going to start by melting 2 tablespoons of butter in a large skillet and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. I'm just going to eyeball it. Now while that's heating up, I'm going to season the chicken breast. And I'm using the real thin chicken. I love to use the thin chicken. It cooks a lot faster. So we're just seasoning with salt and pepper. And after this, we're going to dredge it in some flour. Now the flour is optional, but it gives it a nice crust to it. So that's why I'm opting for the flour. Okay. Let's start that. This part's a little messy, but that's quite all right. Put it right into the pan. Oh, nice. You want that sizzling noise. It's exactly what we're looking for. Now, these do not take very long at all to cook. Just a couple minutes per side. After we're done with the chicken, we're going to deglaze the pan. Now, deglazing is just another fancy word that means to pour cold liquid into a very hot pan. And it's going to get up all the brown bits on the bottom of the pan, which is where all the flavor is. You can use a number of liquids to deglaze a pan. You could use white wine, chicken stock. You could use water if you want. I'm using some chicken stock, so we're going to use that in just a minute here. Okay. Just about done. Nice and brown like this. Make sure the camera can get a great view of this. Okay. So the ingredients for the sauce, let's talk about that for a minute. We're using 2 cups of heavy cream, 4 teaspoons of tarragon, and you definitely want to make sure you use the fresh tarragon. Big difference between the fresh and the dried tarragon. If you don't have the fresh, you can use a dried, just don't use as much because it's very strong. And a couple tablespoons of Dijon mustard. These are ready to flip. your pan is not making a sizzling noise, not hot enough, turn up the heat. Perfect. I made this for my parents a few weeks ago when I went home to visit, and my dad absolutely loves this recipe. Too bad he wasn't here tonight. So while that's cooking, I'm just going to go ahead and start chopping up the tarragon. Ever so carefully. I've already cut my finger once tonight. Tarragon is great. It has a very, it kind of smells like fennel. Very strong black licorice smell to it. It goes great with fish, eggs, and chicken. Make sure you don't get the stems in there. Like I said, rough chop is fine for this. Okay, let's check on the chicken. Perfect, all done. Smells delicious in here. See, you want the nice brown. See how it's nice and brown on this side? And you may think it's going to be tough tasting, but it's really not because we're using the thin chicken breast. It makes a big, big difference. So we're adding 2 tablespoons of the Dijon. Before I do that, I want to deglaze the pan like we talked about. Just a little tiny bit of chicken stock, or white wine is fine, like I said. See, you want to get all the brown bits up. That packs so much flavor in it. Going to give it a nice little zing to the sauce. A little bit more. There we go. Okay, the bottom is nice and clean, which is what we're looking for. Now let's go ahead and add the mustard. The sauce is fabulous. It's really only 3 ingredients. I like a little bit extra mustard in there. To that, we're adding 2 cups of heavy cream. Beautiful. And 4 teaspoons of fresh tarragon. Now we just want this to cook for about 5 minutes, just until the sauce gets thick. So let's mix this in. Make sure you get the mustard all mixed in. After this thickens up just a little bit, we're going to add the chicken back in the pan just to coat it, and then we're good to go. So I am going to turn up the heat because we do want it to We want the consistency to be a little bit thicker than it is right now. Sauce is ready. We just want the chicken to go back in very briefly to coat it, and then we can serve it. I have some very hungry guests in the audience tonight. They are going to love this. They're going to try the zucchini. They've already tried the dip, which I've heard was very good, and the apple walnut salad as well. We have one last recipe to make, and you have to watch the last recipe because it's my favorite dessert. And you all know that I have a sweet tooth. So see how I'm just coating the chicken, and then we can take it right back out and put it onto a nice serving platter. Perfect. Finally, for my favorite part of the meal, desserts. Like I mentioned before, I could eat dessert any day over dinner. I have a huge sweet tooth. So our assistant pastor, Josh Carlson, this is his wife, Courtney Carlson's recipe for chocolate pecan pie. She's a sweet Southern belle, and I love her accent. She's from Alabama. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. 3 eggs at room temperature into a mixer. Everything is going right into the mixer. It's another very easy recipe. Okay, let's turn this on. To that, we're adding 1 cup corn syrup. We want to keep the mixer on. One cup of light brown sugar. Okay, shut that off for a minute. We're adding 2 tablespoons of cornmeal. Now, cornmeal is a kind of flour that is made from ground sweet corn. It comes in white, yellow, red, and blue colors, depending on the variety of the corn. So 2 tablespoons of cornmeal. Put the mixer back on. A 1/4 cup melted butter. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and finally 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. That's all. And now, of course, for the pecans and the chocolate chips. So all we are doing is taking 2 pie shells. Now I'm just using the frozen ones. You're more than welcome to make your own if you'd like. Sprinkle some pecans on the bottom. Now these are pretty small pie crusts, so I'm going to see if I can use both of these. We're using 2 cups, by the way, of the pecans. And 1 cup of chocolate chips. Sprinkle that on top. Okay. And now for the mixture. This is going into a 350-degree oven for about 40 to 45 minutes. And this is great served with vanilla ice cream, whipped cream. It's a wonderful recipe. Wait till you try it. See if I can get both of these. Perfect. How simple is that? It really doesn't get any easier. Okay, let's put these right in the oven. can fit these kind of kitty cornered. Perfect. All right, let's put these in.
This looks awesome.
Let me know what you think.
This is really good, Melissa.
Great. Okay, folks, that's all the time we have today. I promise you a very special guest at the end of the show. I have with me the senior pastor of New Hope Chapel, Pastor Neil, and his wife, Gail. Say hello.
How are you? Good to see you.
Now, how long has New Hope been in existence for?
We actually are going on our 10-year anniversary, April 7th,
Okay,
which is coming up very soon.
great. And if you can tell the viewers where we're located.
Located at 89 Court Street, that's where our main building is. We have services there at 8:30 on Sundays. And then Memorial Hall is where we have our larger services at 10:15 every Sunday.
Okay. And what kind of church is New Hope, just for the viewers that don't know?
New Hope Chapel is a non-denominational church right here in Plymouth on the waterfront.
We have a website, phone number that we can tell the viewers?
The phone number is 508-830-4644, and the website is newhopeplymouth.org.
What can our viewers expect when they show up on Sunday if they come to visit us?
What you can expect is that we're casually dressed and that our services are, it's contemporary music, and we really believe that as we teach through the Bible, it's relevant for today. So as we learn the Bible, we go book by book, verse by verse, and just study it, and we realize how relevant it is for today, just as it was for thousands of years. And it's enthusiastic, it's fun, and we really value authenticity, so people can come as they are, and it's just a great family of people there.
And what's our motto? Love.
Love God, love people, and change the world.
That's right, folks. Thanks so much for joining us for another episode of Melissa's Menu. If you have any questions, comments, if you like copies of the recipe, or if you would like a copy of our New Hope Family Recipe Cookbook, please send me an email, melissasmenu@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Bye.
Thank you.